Hello everyone, welcome to Season 5, Episode 2 of...
I See Bad Movies.
Way! And as you can hear, I'm one of your hosts, Dave Keane, and obviously as you heard, we are joined by the delectable Emma Spicer.
Delectable doesn't start with E, but
I know,
hi.
but I was thinking D-E, it's alphabetically, it's before, it
okay.
follows on, yeah?
Okay, I'm clutching at straws now.
I really am. I'm finding it harder and harder to say nice things about you.
Yeah, well, that's
But because I'm running out of words, not because it's hard to say nice things about you, of course. Of course. Emma, I'm quite excited for this movie because I've never seen it before.
Oh, see, I have seen this one.
Okay.
You should be excited.
So I should be excited
Yes,
because, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it for years, to be fair.
Should I be excited because it's good, bad, or...
It's awful.
Oh, is it awful?
So you'll love it.
Oh, it's
From what I can remember.
Is this going to end up being one of my new favourite films? Is this what you're saying?
I mean, it's no snakes on a plane, but it is...
Okay.
It's just funny because it's... it's funny because it's so ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Although apparently this is a real thing.
It is a real thing. It is, and it's every man's nightmare, I think.
I think it is.
Do you want to tell our listeners the name of the movie that we are going to watch?
Yes, so we are doing, what did we say? Mean Body Parts. What are we calling it?
Body Parts Gone Bad.
Oh, Body Parts Gone Bad. So we are watching Teeth. And if anyone doesn't know what Teeth is, it is a movie about a girl who finds out that she has vagina dentata, which means she has teeth in her vagina. And the way she finds this out, I think, is by having her first experience with a boy. That poor unfortunate boy.
That poor unfortunate boy.
Yeah, so that's how she finds out she's got it.
Yeah. So
Oh, this is. I've just done a quick bit of googling, and it says
go
it's
on.
a folk tale.
It's a folktale.
It's not actually a real thing.
Is it? It's not actually real.
Someone's asked, is the movie Teeth based on a true story? Yeah, it's a myth.
It's a myth. Oh, thank God for that.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, it makes me feel so much better. I must admit, it's not something that's ever come up.
The Oxford reference is a fantasy of a tooth vagina. That's no one's fantasy. A legendary hazard associated with sexual intercourse. Yeah. So it is just a myth.
Thank God.
People don't actually have this. Because we were just talking about stone babies as well, weren't we? Which is a thing where babies can calcify. So, yeah, we were getting a bit worried. I think we were getting a bit carried away there.
Yeah, I think we were going down a rabbit hole. We were going down a rabbit hole without teeth.
I think we should have Googled before we scared ourselves, because I'm going to have nightmares tonight. And
So-
I'm not even a man.
So we've officially debunked vaginal dentata?
So it is just a myth, yeah. But it's a worldwide myth by the looks of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, so I think we kind of know what the film's about, but shall I read out the synopsis?
Yes.
So the synopsis on IMDb is tiny, so I'm going to read one of the sort of write-in ones that you get. So Dawn grows up in the shadow of a nuclear power plant. In high school, while her biology class studies evolution, she realises she may have a hidden curse, an adaptation. She lives with her mom, stepfather, and hard-edged stepbrother. She likes Toby, a guy at school, and he likes her. She takes a pledge to remain chaste until marriage, so they date in groups, watch G-rated films, and don't kiss. But the power of teen hormones is great, so temptation beckons. Dawn has an admirer in Ryan, and when things have an unexpected twist with Toby, she turns to Ryan for help. Will he be her mythical hero and rescue her, or can she find her way as her own hero, turning the curse into an asset? Now,
How do you turn that into an asset?
I mean, as a crime fighter,
Oh, I guess she can go and get the bad boys.
yeah, get all the bad guys and...
Chomp their heads off.
I'm never going to look at the chocolate bar chomp the same ever again. I really like those as well. But so this is the short synopsis. Still a stranger to her own body, a high school student discovers she has a physical advantage when she becomes the object of male violence. Which says to me that Toby is going to turn out to be a right nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
Who's sick and tired
She
of
chose him.
dating in groups, etc. And
I think it's called karma.
I think it is karma. And take that. Can't take that, if that's what you like, Toby. Right, so we flip the coin and
Yes.
see if we're going to focus on the good or the bad teeth.
Yeah.
Good teeth, bad teeth. All right. Again, right. So am I going to screw the toss like I did the last on body parts, and I did an absolutely terrible coin toss?
No, you're going to do a good toss.
Am I?
There you go.
That was a good one. All right. What do you reckon?
Good.
Good.
I keep calling it wrong, don't you?
Oh no, we're looking at the bad.
Again.
We're looking at bad teeth.
I think all vaginal teeth are bad, David. I don't think there's ever a case. I don't think a man's ever gone, oh, she's got teeth in there, great.
Great.
This will be fun. Right, it's your turn to pick.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay. Right. Let's have that one. So, costume.
I can't remember it well enough to
We
know
might
if there is
end up
anything.
with some wild cards coming in there.
We might do, yeah.
Actor.
Okay,
Okay. What else are we looking at? Best supporting cast.
okay.
Not Toby. Let's say that for a fact. Scene.
Yeah.
And then finally, actually, let's go with this one here. It's staring at me. Best special effects.
Oh, there might be some good special... Oh, I just remembered a bit
Did you remember a bit?
I've just remembered a bit that might be considered special effect.
Is it a bad special effect or a good one?
I can't remember how good it is, but you do see... So when she does her damage, you do see things that fall off. Which I think, because I watched this with my best friend, and I think we were absolutely pissing ourselves laughing when we saw some of the...
Best friend at the time, right?
Obviously, we're still best friends because
I mean,
we've watched... This is back in the day when we had Love Film. She had Love Film.
oh, it was a love. This is a love film.
We got that, and we got another one that I think we're going to try and get shoehorned into some sort of
Oh,
category.
I think
That's
love
what
film
it's
must have like put people into category, and I think you were probably in that
literally just went
category.
on the
It's
website and picked.
yeah, no,
So
I know,
we
but
just
they're
picked the
like
worst ones we could find.
they're seeing people picking these worst
You
films, and
also
they're like,
might like-
let's put these.
Yeah, you also might like this.
Right, so that's us. We're going to be focusing on the worst special effects, the worst scene, the worst supporting cast, the worst actor, and the worst costume in Teeth. Emma, shall we go and watch this film?
Yes, let's do it.
But before we do go and watch this film, Emma,
Oh yes,
we can't, because amazing stuff has happened over the Christmas break.
yep,
We've got a new Patreon subscriber.
we have.
Hey! So I'd like to say an absolutely massive welcome to Amy Kavalerovsky. Hello, Amy, and
Hi,
welcome
Amy.
along. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, apologies if we have got that wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Please.
that's my hope that it was correct.
I was going to say, please let us know if we've got it wrong, but I'm not sure how she would tell us how to pronounce it correctly in a message. Maybe spell it phonetically or something.
Are the W's as V's?
Yeah.
Are they just as W's? So is it Kawalorowski? I don't know if it would be, but it doesn't matter. Welcome along, Amy, and thank you so much for joining the Patreon. If you do like what you hear, obviously in the main episode, there are so many episodes of the flip side available on our
Yeah.
Patreon. So we've got one episode of the Patreon of one episode for each main episode where we focus on the opposite. So we'll focus on the bad bits of Teeth now in the main
Yeah.
episode, but we're going to take those categories and we're going to flip and focus on the good bits of it.
And we've also got a couple of bonus episodes on there, kids' films.
Yeah,
and
bad
we
kids
did a
movies.
Christmas special as well. So there's a few other episodes on there.
Yeah, there are. So there's a fair bit on there for you. So if you've been binging us recently and thinking, where can I get more of Emma and David in
Can
my
I get
life?
even more?
Then yeah, just come and join us at www.patreon.com/I See Bad Movies, but the links are all in our episode descriptions anyway. So just click on our link tree and our Patreon's right there for you. Yeah, $5 a month.
Nothing, is it?
It's nothing. It's a nothing. What is it? I mean, like, if that was girl math
Yeah.
for each episode that you can listen to, that's like, what?
That's nothing, is it?
Coffee, innit?
Yeah.
Less than a coffee.
Less than a coffee.
Less than a
It
coffee.
would cost you more than that.
Coffee would cost you, yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, you lucky lot, aren't we nice? Anyway, shall we go watch this film?
Yes.
Let's do it. Whoa, Emma, welcome back.
What a film.
What a film. Are you ready to get your teeth into this episode?
I'm not sure how to answer that considering the topic of the movie. I've only got one set of teeth. Yes, but although we are doing the bad bits, and there wasn't that bits that it was quite good, wasn't it?
There actually wasn't that many bad bits.
It was quite a good bad movie.
It really was.
So there isn't loads of bad stuff.
No, I know.
There's more good stuff on the flip side, isn't there?
I think, and we have absolutely not engineered that, I will point out, because neither of us had seen this film before.
I had seen it, but years ago.
Oh, yes, that's right. You'd seen it years ago. That's right. And I had never seen it before, but I walked away really impressed.
You really liked it, didn't you?
I really did. I thought it was a great film. It's been on my mind a lot, because obviously we are old. I mean, I'm old.
Yeah, we are old. That's fine.
I can't watch a movie and record 2 episodes in the same night.
No.
So yeah. So since we watched it, I've been thinking about this film and how good it was.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was quite possibly one of my new favourite films that we've watched.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in the top 10, is it?
Oh, definitely top 10.
In the top 5?
Yeah, I think it is top 5. Are you going to keep going? Is it top 3? Top 2?
Is it top 1?
Is it top 1? Nothing can beat Snakes on a Plane.
Nothing will ever beat Snakes on a Plane. Even if they make Snakes on a Plane 2, I don't think they can top it, can they?
Oh, but could you
Although
imagine?
they did with Crank. Crank 2 was better.
Crank 2 was, they cranked it up.
Sometimes they get it right.
They did. So, okay, Teeth. We open up quite with this movie with a little bit of foreshadowing, don't we? So
Yes.
they've got like a really nice idyllic sort of sunny sort of afternoon in suburbia in the US, and we've got what turns out to be our main character Dawn's mum and her stepfather sitting there with Dawn and her stepbrother Brad in a paddling pool. Next thing we know, Brad is yelping in pain.
Yes.
And he's got a bite on his finger. And we can only imagine how
But these kids are like, what,
young.
4 or 5?
Yeah,
They're young, aren't they? They're
very young.
Far too young to be doing what he's doing.
Oh, 100%.
Far too young to even know about any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we obviously know that he's quite messed up.
But I do
early
think
on.
he is, I say significantly older.
He's a bit
I think he's
older.
good few years older than her. So,
Oh,
but she
okay.
might be 4 or 5. I'm thinking
He's-
he's 7 or 8, maybe.
Yeah, still though.
Still
7
very
or
young.
8, he shouldn't be knowing about stuff like that and doing stuff like that, should he?
No, definitely shouldn't. Definitely shouldn't. So everyone's assuming that she just bit him.
Yeah. Well, she did.
Well, she did. Yeah. I mean, but just
What do you
bite, like a
think?
normal bite,
Yeah.
I would say.
Normal.
I would say a
Upstairs
normal
teeth.
bite. Yeah, upstairs teeth. Did you use your upstairs teeth? Yeah. It's like, did you turn the big light on? No. Oh, I don't know where to go from that.
I think we should just stop it there, end it there. Okay, bye.
Oh dear. So, I mean, the thing is, though, this reminds me how much this film had us giggling as well when we were watching it.
I mean, it's just, I'm still laughing at the fact that we, for 1 minute, convinced ourselves that this could actually be a real medical thing, medical issue. Because when you think about it, it's ridiculous. Well, I guess it's not that ridiculous when you do hear about weird,
Yeah.
like,
Don't get me wrong.
deformities and things like that that happen. There are some,
Yeah. If vagina dentata was a thing, and I wouldn't think of it like it was like a working jaw and mouth.
No, just
But
that some teeth
some
grew there.
teeth grew
some
through.
way, yeah.
Somehow. I just don't know a lot
We know
about.
things can go, so many things can go wrong when a baby's developing, and
Yes.
there are loads of different deformities that occur.
Mm-hmm.
Some very, very rare, obviously,
Of course.
but this could just be one of those really rare things. But obviously, it's complete myth, and it's not. Well, it's never been recorded, at least, has
No.
it? That anyone's got this.
And actually, funnily enough, it comes up in the film.
Yes,
that they
it does,
think
that
that
it's a myth.
it's a myth.
Yeah.
It's a popular myth that
Yeah.
not actually true. But
Who started that myth?
yeah, I know.
What an odd thing to start saying.
I can only imagine that myth was started by women to make men a bit wary.
Or it was
Watch
started
yourselves.
by a man that got rejected or something, and I don't know.
Oh, it was started by a man who accidentally lost his penis somehow, It was like,
Yeah.
that witch did it.
Yeah.
She did it. She's a witch. That's sadly probably very close, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Oh. But to be fair, there's a lot of comeuppance for men in this film.
Yeah.
And very well deserved
Yes.
in this film.
To be fair, the guys who get their comeuppance, it is very much deserved, isn't it, the way they're behaving? So
Definitely. Oh God, what happens in next?
So then we cut.
It's the
so we have
promise
that-
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we cut to. So she is part of. Do they give themselves a name, that group
Yeah,
of people, or is it just? I know it's a promise ring, but
I don't know if there's
they've
a
got
name
like a
for
collective
it.
name. But they're at like a meeting for it, aren't they? So they've all got-
Repressed. That's the collective name. Repressed.
So they've all got these promise rings, and they have these meetups, don't they, where they discuss
Yes.
they have like talks where they're
Yeah.
like, you have to save yourself for the right person, save yourself for marriage, all of that. Your
Yeah.
body is like pure and
I feel like it's like it seemed to me like it was like a local youth group, church youth group or something that was being slowly indoctrinated to the promise ring.
yeah.
Yeah, because there was one point where Toby says to Don, because so Don does a speech about you know, what's the biggest gift you can give away, etc., etc. And I was thinking, oh, a PlayStation.
Not quite.
What does she mean? But Toby, who is very much into Don and Don's into as well.
Yes.
Toby is our first kind of boyfriend material that it looks like Don has.
Yeah.
And he says to her, it looks like we're going to get, I think, 27 sign-ups today or something.
Yeah.
And she's then asked back to do other talks by the person that runs this thing or whatever.
Cult.
This cult. Well, yeah, this cult. Yeah, it pretty much is,
So,
isn't it?
do we at any point find out how old they actually are? Do they say how old they are?
No.
They're sort of late teens, aren't they?
Late
But we don't know
teens.
exactly how old.
Not
They're high
yet.
school, but they're high school till 18 in America, aren't they? So
Yeah. If
16,
I remember right.
17 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So at that age
And
where
what's the age of consent in America?
I think it's 18, isn't
It's
it, in
18,
America?
because it's 16 over
Or
here.
can it
but it's
vary
got
by
various different-
state? Maybe it can vary by state.
Possibly, actually, yeah, because I know they have quite different laws in different states, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
Because I think it used to be 18 in the UK and it got lowered, didn't it? And they still push for, some people are still pushing to lower it even more than 16, which I think is ridiculous.
I think it is. And the thing about the age of consent for 16-year-olds is so that 16-year-olds aren't going to prison for statutory rape,
Yeah.
you know. And if they lowered the age of consent, then
But what
I
it-
think there should be a more nuanced
What it means is,
law.
because what it means is if they lower the age of consent, then people who are grown adults
Yes.
can have sex with a 14-year-old, a 30-year-old man can have sex with a 14-year-old girl,
yeah.
and then but that's okay because
Because it's in the age of
the age of
consent,
consent, which is not
yeah.
okay because at
Yeah.
14 you're not old enough to consent to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know why it's come down from 18 to 16. Like you say, probably because two 16-year-olds together.
Yeah, and that's exactly
kind
what,
of okay,
exactly
but,
what it's
yeah.
aimed for. People of the same age consenting.
But I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a bit older in America. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
that's
can
a very
drive
good
at like
question.
16, can't they?
Well, that's the thing. They can drive at 16. They can. I don't know if you can. Can you sign up to the
So you
military
can-
at
you can
16
kill
or
somebody in a car.
only 18?
But you can't
yeah.
get somebody pregnant.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, be in charge of, and you can't drink.
You
till
can't
you're
drink till
21.
21, yeah.
It's a strange life living in America.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Forgive me, anyone living in America listens. I don't think I'd want to live in America. No. I think first of all, I'd be fat as a fool. Like the food. I think I'd go there and I'd just expand.
Oh, the portion sizes. When we've watched these movies, we're
yeah.
like, what? I mean, the ice cream in one of the movies we watched, it was like a bucket of ice cream.
Oh,
And we were like,
think I could
we
live in
get
America.
like a quarter the size of that. And not,
yeah.
You know,
It was the Haagen-Dazs, wasn't it? It was that big bowl of Haagen-Dazs. Oh,
when they have like McDonald's or anything like that, or any sort of drive, it's like the portions are huge.
it's amazing. This is why I could never live in America. One, the strange age limits. I mean, not that it would affect me now, being a 44-year-old man.
No,
You know,
you'd probably be fine.
there must be something. Yeah, could I buy these, please? How old are you? Can I see your ID? I'm 44. Oh, sorry.
be 45.
State of Nevada said you've got to be 45. Oh, man. God damn it. And also, like, it's fireworks. You can't get fireworks everywhere.
You can't.
Yeah, some states, fireworks are completely illegal. So,
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of my favourite Christmas movies, Deck the Halls. Matthew Broderick versus Danny DeVito. Great film. And Matthew Broderick at one point wants to get a massive, like, firework to go off and give his neighbour a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah.
But in his state, you can't just go and buy fireworks. So he had to go and, like, illegally buy fireworks out of the back of someone's car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realise that.
No, I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, like, even, like, taking fireworks, people would go out of
But
state.
yet you can go and buy a gun.
Listen,
Make it make sense.
listen. That's the thing. What if you had a gun and instead of ammo, you put in it a firework? I mean, no. It's not going to end well.
No.
But then, you know, you put ammo in a gun, really ends well.
Yeah, true.
Unless you are, obviously, any American listeners listening, if you are a very responsible gun owner, fine, absolutely.
Yeah.
But very rarely, I think I could never be a responsible gun owner. Because I'd want to be like,
What
hey,
else
look,
can I put in this
look
gun?
what I can do. Flip guns around,
Yeah.
pretend I was RoboCop, all sorts. Anyway, we're not talking about
We're not
teeth here,
talking about-
are we?
no.
We're really not talking about teeth here. Yeah, so Dawn
So
is
we think they're about 16, 17 maybe,
Yeah.
that sort of age.
16, 17. So there's Dawn and Toby, and they've got two other friends that tend to hang around with each other. They finish this promise ring meeting and they head off to the cinema. And I found this quite funny because they were like, "Oh, that film's. Oh, we want to go see this." I can't remember if they mentioned the name of the film,
I don't think they did.
but they were like, "Oh, it's a PG-13," and they were like, "Oh, we can't go see this because sometimes there can be like kissing and things like that
Yeah.
in this movie." So even like trying to avoid what is clearly the inevitable for them, the things
Yeah.
that they're all feeling,
Yeah.
but they just want to try and be like, let's not tempt ourselves.
Oh, because they're also not even allowed to masturbate, are they? 'Cause
Yes,
that comes up. in
That does
the-
come up as well.
Sorry, probably the wrong term that comes up. It,
I mean, it
but
does.
it comes up later on because Toby says, doesn't it, about it? So yeah, they're not even allowed to do
Yeah.
that. So it's like, come on, they're teenagers with hormones racing around their bodies and they can't even do
But then they're
that.
in.
Torture.
They go to see a U, and it's clearly like a kid's cartoon that
Yeah.
they're watching. I'm guessing it's still classed as a U in the US, like Universal or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
And they're watching that, and it's clearly a kid's cartoon, but their two friends are just making out next to them as well, and you can see.
Are the two friends part of the promise ring
Yes,
thing?
yeah,
Oh,
the
they
two
They're
friends
just
are as well,
rebels
but.
and they just go and do what they want.
Yeah, I mean, I say
not
making
sticking
out.
to
It's
it.
not like a massively passionate thing.
No, but they're kissing.
But-
They shouldn't be kissing.
and they
because
shouldn't be
shouldn't
kissing.
be doing anything.
And also, I'm sorry, but it is it is like a kids showing they're in.
Yeah, so it is a bit weird.
You know,
Yeah.
hold yourselves back a little bit. Come on.
Yeah.
If anything, you're not holding back because of the promise ring. You're holding back because there's a lot of kids staring at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's my prudishness for you.
Well, yeah, not in front of kids.
Yeah, not in front of kids. It's just,
Yeah, there
come
is a
on.
line.
There is absolutely a line. And also they go off. They also
They go for a drive
off
after that.
for a
to
drive.
The cave, do they? So
Yeah.
like the lake and
Well,
the
there's a little lake.
there's a lake and a little cave, isn't there?
They don't go into the lake at this point, do they?
They go into the cave, don't they? At that point.
I think they just go for a little wander and walk around.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. But then,
At this point, do Dawn and Toby admit they like each other, or is that later?
yeah, they admit they
Sort of
like
admit
each
they
other.
like each
yeah.
other, but then they're like, we can't do anything because of the ring. Promise
Yeah.
ring.
And I think it's at this point that Toby tells Dawn that he'd masturbated before. So he was kind of
okay.
weak, and it was like it's fine. It was 18 months ago, and
Yeah,
Dawn's
she kind of doesn't she say to him like it's okay
yeah.
because you're still pure in God's eyes. She says.
You're stronger. You're probably stronger now because you felt what it's like.
One of his
and-
arms is.
Emma, can we please just get through this without the childish jokes?
No.
I mean, I don't know how much stronger it would be after 18 months.
Depends how often he's doing it. He said once, but you know, men lie.
Yeah, let's face it. Especially with his. Yeah.
Come on, none of the boys that have got those promise rings are not wanking. You're not telling me teenage boys
Oh, God, I know.
aren't wanking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Every
it's
day.
every single day. You know.
Once you've discovered that,
Yeah.
boys aren't not doing it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you could your mum and dad could walk out the door for work in the morning, and by the time one of them realizes they've left their car keys on the kitchen side, you've masturbated 5 times already
Yeah.
before they were back in the
It's
house.
just
Yep.
disgusting.
Yeah. Teenage boys,
Yeah.
they're the worst.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
to think that any teenage boy has got a promise ring and it isn't at least masturbating, I would be very surprised.
Isn't at least thinking, can I masturbate with this promise ring as well? Listen, teenage boys, they're the worst.
They are.
I assume. Anyway, but this prompts Dawn because when she goes home that afterwards, she has a very interesting, shall we say, fantasy about her and Toby.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She lays in bed and is this just after that conversation?
It
She
is,
lays in
yeah,
bed and
yeah.
we just see her hand sort of wander down.
But she's also imagining
She's
their
imagining them
wedding.
getting married, which is really sad. But then we realised that on the wedding night they could have sex, couldn't they? So that's where the fantasy was
That's
leading.
where
It's
it
like we
leads,
get
yeah.
married, then we can have sex. So then she was imagining them kissing and getting passionate.
Yeah.
And then, but she never actually does.
No,
anything,
she
does
doesn't. So Dawn's got like an iron will, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of men in the show wish they had an iron willy.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But it does prompt Dawn to kind of...
Oh, she realises doesn't she have a flashback about the paddling pool as well?
Yes.
Because she must put her hand down there because I'm sure she feels something and thinks that's not right, and then has the flashback about the paddling pool, and then she goes to see her gynecologist, doesn't she?
Not yet.
Is that later on?
That's later she goes to see the gynecologist because it's after Toby she goes to see the gynecologist.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
Because after the morning after the night before, she and Toby go back off to
the lake.
And get changed into their swimming costume, etc., and
Yes.
go for a little swim. And
Which, by the way, her swimming costume is not a bikini like a young girl would wear. It's
No.
like neck to
thigh,
It's
yeah,
like
full on
black,
Victorian.
fully covered up.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite the down to the knees old-fashioned swimming costume that
But
you see, but
but to Toby, that would be
yeah.
completely the
And I
the
think
most
Toby's
erotic
just
thing he'd
boxer
seen in
shorts,
18
isn't
months.
he? Yeah.
Yes, he is.
So go for a swim. They end up kissing in the pool, don't they? In the
Yeah,
pool,
they're
the
being
lake.
really for Dawn's kind of
Yeah, considering she's like, no, can't do anything like
Yeah.
that. She just quite quickly
yeah, she is. But I think
starts
that's
kissing him.
I think it's to say to you that they can't
They can't resist each other.
resist each other. They can't
Yeah.
resist each other. And they go off to the cave in the pool,
Yeah.
and that's where Dawn.
They get to the cave and there's like bedding in the cave and there's like
yeah,
a
there's
duvet and stuff.
already.
Which makes me think, if that's already there,
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping on that. Or
It says to
doing
me
anything on
this is a well-known
That's-
point for people just to hook up.
Yeah, and that's not going to be clean.
No, it's standing up on its own.
Yeah, it's going to be grim, isn't it?
Yeah.
If that's the hangout for teenagers, it's not,
Blech.
you don't want to put that because they're really cold after getting out of the lake and they're like wrapping it round.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
don't wrap that round.
Please don't do that.
Goodness knows what that's
No.
about.
Oh God. And they need to
Yeah.
be tested for Hep C now and everything.
Yeah, they need the tetanus jabs after that.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
No. No, not at all.
So they're both kind of cold, aren't they?
Yes.
And then, does he start pushing straight away for stuff or is it they kiss him?
They
and
kind of
stuff?
kiss. They kind of kiss a little bit, but it very quickly becomes Toby being
Trying
a
to force
bit,
her- yeah,
bit too
being
much,
forceful.
and Dawn obviously comes to her senses about what's happening, and rightly says to Toby,
Yeah, she's
No.
like stop.
"Yep, absolutely,
But then he accidentally bangs her head on a rock, doesn't he? So
Yeah,
she's kind of passed out,
yeah,
but he carries on.
he does."
This is what we're saying about the guys in this movie. So they all deserve what they get because they're all a bit
they're all completely rapey.
rapey, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they
all
really
very
are.
rapey. So he just carries on regardless, even though she's not really conscious
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But then she sort of wakes up, comes to, doesn't she?
Yes,
And then-
yeah, she does. And he starts, and and you even hear the kind
So
of
we think
go on.
that because when some men have sex with her, or when they start to have sex with her, it's all fine. So we think it's even when she tenses up because she's stressed, or she can. I think in the end she can control it, can't she?
In
She
the end,
knows
I
to
think she
clench
can control
muscles
it,
and she
yeah.
can just go.
In the
But in
beginning,
the beginning, I think it's nerves and she's tense.
yes.
So she
Yeah.
just kind of her muscles tense up and.
Or
before
is
you
it,
know
or is it, subliminally her body protecting her?
It's a survival
It's a
mechanism.
survival mechanism. Yeah, yeah.
So poor old Toby.
Poor old Toby, yeah.
So all of a sudden, it just kind of goes,
and he
and
starts
he
screaming.
stands up. He starts screaming and stands up, and we just see just blood pouring out of the front of him, and then you do see the top of his willy just on the rocks.
Just on the rocks. On the rocks, like a cocktail. Cocktail.
Willy on the rocks.
Toby's cocktail on the rocks. Oh dear. Oh.
Yeah, but we thought he wanted to grab it to take it with him, didn't we? But he didn't. So he runs off because he's just like, obviously in shock, obviously in agony.
That's right.
He dives into the water, which I was like, that's probably not a good idea if you've got an open wound to get in a lake of water, like probably dirty water.
I can imagine it's the only way to get back to his car.
It must be, yeah. But I thought he grabbed his willy as he went. Sorry, do Americans call it a willy? Am I calling it a willy? And the Americans will be like, what's she talking about?
I don't think they do.
His penis.
He's Johnson.
We call it a willy.
We call it a willy, yeah. I've got to understand, where does the etymology of a penis being called a willy come from?
Actually.
You know?
But I thought he grabbed it as he went, but he doesn't, because later on we see it on the rocks again next to her, don't we? So he definitely didn't grab it.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
And then
definitely.
we don't see or hear about Toby again till later, do we? So we're just like...
Yes.
No idea whether he made it to a hospital, like, what happened to him, do we? Until a bit later.
Yeah, we don't, because...
Because we were saying... Yeah, because I thought he'd picked it up and he was going to go to hospital to get it...
Yeah, no, and he didn't.
Try and get it sewn on.
It was left
it there and he ran off.
It was left where it dropped. Yeah. And he
imagine someone else going into that cave to get, because they're getting a bit fruity, and they get there and someone's willy's just on the rocks. You'd be like, maybe not today, maybe not here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point, isn't it?
That would kill the mood, wouldn't it?
It really would, wouldn't it?
Although I imagine animals would have got to it at some point.
Well, an animal does get to it.
Yeah, not that particular.
Not that particular moment, but an animal does get to it. No. That Toby's Johnson does also get an animal on it. It's just resting on there. But I'll point out. I'll tell you where it comes from in a bit.
Yeah, so Dawn's obviously screaming as well because she's just as shocked because she doesn't know what's happened, really.
No,
she's
she
just
doesn't.
like, what the hell? Like, why is his willy just fallen off?
Yeah, I think rightly she's in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which she would be if you didn't know that was... And it's her first time having sex.
Yeah.
I mean, if my first time I had sex, someone's willy fell off, I would think, what the hell?
I would say
people do this for fun?
I would say it's more likely probably her first time being sexually assaulted
well.
Yeah.
Not her first time having sex, but yeah.
But yeah, it's
her first experience of it.
She's very much in shock from it, very much. And I like how the film did it as well, actually, because she kind of got on with her normal stuff, but she was clearly not okay.
Yeah.
Because she went on to do...
Does she call somebody to get a lift home? Because she's in... I take it they went in Toby's car.
No, she doesn't. They don't really cover that. She just gets home, or she just gets back. No, they were in Toby's car.
Oh, okay.
And because Toby's car was left there for later.
Yeah.
But they don't really cover that in the film. She's just back, as it were. It's also important to note as well, we kind of missed this, but it's not a major thing, but her mum's unwell.
Yes, her mum is unwell.
With something or other, don't know what it is.
They don't really go into what's wrong with her mum, do they?
Unless, I don't think they mentioned cancer, because there is a lot of focus on the cooling towers from the nuclear power plant close by.
Yes, they keep
highlighting those. But her mum's unwell, and that's just a little bit of background knowledge. But that...
I thought, the guy that likes her, so the geeky guy, there's another guy, I can't remember what his name is.
Ryan.
Ryan is a bit of a geek, a bit of a, I don't know, I just got the impression he was a bit of an outcast, he wasn't really popular. He likes Dawn.
Yes.
I thought she called Ryan for a lift home from the lake.
That was the next time, because she revisits the lake.
Oh, that was the next time.
Yeah, she revisits the lake. I know, I got confused about that myself when I was thinking about it, and I was like, but then how did the gynecologist get involved? Well, that evening after, she does the promise ring meeting again that she was invited to do anyway, and she's clearly struggling because she's talking about how she's got
She's
serpent inside, and
she's got no right to be there and stuff because she's
But they take that as her giving some kind of sermon, really.
Yeah.
And you're right. It is. It was very much like a cult because all of the people
they're all
watching.
standing there like chanting things.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It was very, very
Culty.
perturbing and culty.
Very culty.
Yeah, very culty.
So she's sort of saying, I shouldn't really be stood here saying all this because she's not pure kind of thing. But yeah, like you say, they take it as like she's preaching about, hypothetically kind of preaching about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all a bit weird.
It is.
So I can't remember when Ryan comes into it then.
So the next...
How?
Well, they have kind of met her, or he was at the school a little bit.
Okay.
And like there was a little weird thing early on in the film at the school where they kind of take the mickey out of her as she walks by.
Yeah.
And his friend kind of pushes Ryan at. So this Ryan fella, his friend, pushes him towards Dawn.
Yeah.
But he's not really in it that much. He's kind of hanging around the youth club during the first promise ring meeting as well. But other than that, he's not really that prevalent. Now, when so Dawn goes to see a gynecologist because
of what
she
happened
thinks
in
there's
the cave.
something very much wrong.
Which clearly there is.
And the gynecologist is clearly a fucking creep as well.
Yeah, another creep who's...
Yep. Yeah. Because, he sets Dawn down to have...
She kind of says, I just want to make sure everything's normal down there, doesn't she?
Yes.
And then he puts his gloves on and starts...
Well, he takes one of them off.
Yeah, so he gets her on the bed, gets her in the right position to like examine her, and then he's got his gloves on, and then one glove comes off, and there's 4 fingers. Is there? That...
Yeah. I mean, he starts. Not. I don't think it's a very standard examination, shall we say?
Definitely not. I mean, I'm a woman, so I can tell you definitely that's not what they do.
And I mean, I've been at multiple births.
Yeah.
And we had a male. What's the word I'm looking for?
Midwife.
And we had a male midwife.
A mid-husband.
A mid-husband. But the male midwife was very, very good. He's very clear, saying, this is exactly what I'm doing, and etc. etc. And also, probably because there was a big 6-foot Scotsman standing there as well, like watching every movement. But I'm not saying that they were like, well, no, just because they're a male midwife, they're going to be, they were going to be trouble. But he was very clearly stating at every single step exactly what was happening, exactly what Trisha would be feeling. That's what
they generally tend to do, is tell you what they're doing, why they're doing it.
Yeah, and I think not even a male that's not even just
that's just every midwife.
That's every midwife,
they
isn't
do
it?
tend to explain what they're doing, yeah.
So, a male gynecologist with a young woman, no chaperone. And I don't know if that's because she was over the age of 16 or whatever for that state.
You can request one, I think, but I don't think necessarily... I think they should say to you, though, would you like a chaperone?
Because I think as a chaperone up until the age of 18, you can request one at any age, is it?
I think so, yeah, because I've been offered, like, if I'm having anything, like that done...
Yeah, okay.
Or examined or looked at, then they do say to you, would you like a chaperone, or you can request a chaperone. Mm-hmm. So I think it's any age. It's just obviously because of malpractice, and if there's another person in the room, you've got a witness. You can say, well, this happened and it shouldn't have done, and you've kind of got somebody else there to back you up. I guess that's why they do it. Whereas if it's just you and a doctor in the room or a midwife in the room, and it's your word against theirs, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, and it's protection for both parties, isn't it? Yeah, because
somebody could lie and say, well, they did this, and just try and get some compensation or whatever. You do get people like that, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose you do.
Yeah, but this gynecologist is definitely not above board. He's got a young girl in his office.
Yeah.
And he's...
very sleazy. Very sleazy. But also, he's short a few fingers now, isn't he?
Well, he puts 4 fingers inside her, and then she's obviously very stressed again because she's like, what the hell's going on?
And the difference between fingers and a penis is that fingers have a bone.
Yeah.
So the fingers come off quite clean cut, but it takes a little bit longer.
When is it that we find out about the teeth?
So it's just after it's
Just after
after
the
this that she
gynecologist.
goes to look into it. That she goes to look. She looks into it.
Oh,
All.
she looks into some
Yeah.
videos online, doesn't she?
I think I am messing up a little bit the timeline a little bit, but she does look into it.
Because we're like,
after
we
the
were saying, weren't we?
gynecologist.
These teeth are very sharp because they're getting through. I mean, I know a penis hasn't got a bone in it, but it's
Yeah.
quite thick to bite through. I would imagine.
Depends.
I would imagine, generally speaking, you
No
know,
two peni are the same.
an average penis would be quite tough to bite through.
Yeah, but it's not. No, I mean, it doesn't matter how much, but like fingers have like
Yeah, fingers have
bone.
bones.
Yeah.
But just
Sorry.
trying to work out what would be harder to bite through.
We are trying to be as professional as possible.
We don't need to be mature with this movie.
No, actually, no, we don't, do we? We don't.
But yeah, so she does. She goes home and researches, doesn't she?
Yes.
turns
Well,
out-
she goes. But the only thing I can't remember is when Ryan picks her up and takes her home. Maybe
Yeah.
Ryan did pick her up from the park.
Does she go back
the
to the cave
the
after the
pool.
gynecologist?
She
Was it before that?
does. She does. But she gets dropped off by Ryan at home first. Then she gets on the bike and she goes back to the
Oh,
lake.
okay.
So I think I'm not quite sure what happens. Whether I think she goes to the gynecologist and then she's coming home, and that's when Ryan picks her up and brings her home. So she's just bitten off the gynecologist's fingers,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
Ryan
of course,
takes
he
her.
can't tell anyone, can he? So this woman is going around doing these things, but the gynecologist can't tell anyone because otherwise
Yep.
they'd be like, "Why have you got four ungloved fingers inside this young
Mm-hmm.
girl?" So he can't tell anyone this is how I lost my fingers. So he must make up some.
Yeah,
sort of-
exactly. He must make up.
We do see him later on getting his fingers sewn back on, don't we?
Yes, and like a sheriff or whoever shows a tooth broke off.
Yes, the tooth broke off.
And
That's where we see what the teeth are like.
Yeah, and it points out that the teeth are like the teeth of a lamprey or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I had to show you a picture of a lamprey, and they are kind
They're
of nasty.
very sharp, yeah.
Lampreys will just kind of burrow in and just keep
They've
eating.
got like a million teeth, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they are nasty looking teeth. So it's kind of like that, and very very sharp
Yeah.
and tough. But one of these fell out, and so we see what they're like. However, and I think this is where I'm maybe getting it mixed up a little bit. I can't quite remember how Ryan gets into the picture of picking up Dawn and taking her home, but he tells her that he's really interested in her, and maybe they could go
Yeah,
on.
he takes her back to his house, doesn't he? And he's like trying to comfort her, isn't he?
No.
after?
First of all, he takes Dawn back to her house and says,
okay.
"I'm really interested in you. Would you like to go on a date or something like that?" And she's,
Oh, yeah, you asked
and
me
she's
about
like,
yeah.
"Ryan, it's not you, it's me, basically."
Yeah,
'Cause this
I
stuff,
shouldn't really be dating.
Yeah, she doesn't she doesn't give away any of the details.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Yeah, no, this can't happen."
I guess she's still not really that. No, she goes back home and she does do some research, so she knows about vagina dentata,
Well,
does
she gets the bike, she gets on her bike, and I don't know, maybe she does the research before she goes to see the gynecologist. I can't quite remember, because remember she screams at the gynecologist,
Yeah.
"Vagina dentata," before she runs out.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So I think maybe she has looked it up, and because she knows that. So with the myth of the teeth is that a hero needs to come along to tame
yes,
them.
that's it. Yes, so she needs to find her hero to
To tame the
tame
teeth.
the teeth, so
Yeah.
that she's not biting off knob
Yeah.
after knob after knob.
So we're a little bit in the middle of the film here. We're a little bit messed around on the timeline, but
Yeah.
it's not, doesn't really matter.
It
at
all
the end.
happens. We just don't know exactly what order.
Yeah,
we're
the
in.
exact order, and it's mad, isn't it? We only just watched it the other day.
Yeah,
But
but we're
yeah,
old,
we're
so
old. You'll
forgive
have,
us.
you know, if you want to know, watch the film yourselves.
Definitely watch it.
Definitely
yeah.
watch it. Definitely watch it. So we've determined that Dawn has investigated what might be wrong with her.
Yeah.
Okay, she knows it's this mythical thing, vagina dentata. We know that she's bitten off the hands,
More than she can
bitten off the fingers of a sleazy gynecologist. We know that Ryan has taken her to her house and said, "Hey, I really like you," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now,
And And she knows she needs someone to tame the teeth.
She knows she needs someone to tame the
Ryan
teeth.
doesn't know about the teeth yet, does he?
Not yet, no. So Ryan drops her off, but he drives away, and she immediately gets on her bike, and she bikes to the lake.
Yeah.
Ryan is like, no, I'm not taking that. He knocks on the door and goes back to Dawn's house, knocks on the door, and Brad, her stepbrother, answers. And we've not spoken about Brad at all.
Oh yeah, we've not.
Because there's been a
mentioned
few
Brad, yeah.
scenes mixed in with Brad, and
Brad and his girlfriend.
Brad and his girlfriend.
He's disgusting, isn't he?
He's absolutely disgusting. He's a vile human being. He's
No
pretty.
respect for women whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Treats his girlfriend like dirt, doesn't he? He's
Absolute-
literally shagging his girlfriend in pretty much every scene.
Yep. Yep.
And just seems like a really nasty piece of work, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. And he's always playing, and this is he's always playing heavy metal really loud in the house as well, even though Dawn's mum is really unwell and probably
Yeah.
could just do with the rest.
Yeah, it
actually.
doesn't. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
completely selfish and self-absorbed.
And that actually ends up being his major undoing later in the film, his
Yes.
behaviour as well. But we will get to that.
Yes.
So Dawn goes to the bike. Dawn gets on a bike, goes to the lake. Ryan turns up at the house, knocks on the door. Brad opens it, and he's like, "Oh, is Dawn there?" And
Yeah.
Brad's like, "Yeah, you stay away from my sister," and punches. Right?
Yeah.
Knocks him out in the most comical way.
Have we said that they're stepbrother and sister, aren't
Yes,
they? They're not
yeah,
actual blood
yeah.
related.
We said that very, very early on.
Yeah.
Because the stepbrother seems to have a bit of a fixation on Dawn, doesn't
Oh,
he?
definitely, yeah.
It's grim.
Which is still weird if you've grown up together, because
It is
obviously their
still
parents have been
weird.
together since they were little, so you
Yeah.
are grown up like siblings, so it is weird to have a crush on your
is.
step
Yeah,
sister, isn't it?
it is. I mean,
Because I know they're not actually
Yeah, of
blood
course.
related, but if you've grown up, I mean, it's like cousins. You can legally marry your first cousin, but my
Can
cousins
you?
growing up were I think you can, but my cousins growing up were like siblings to me because we saw them all the time, and
yeah.
I
Same here.
wouldn't look at any of my family in that way.
No.
So that is just weird to me. But I
It
think
is.
it is legal to marry your cousin, yeah.
That's Uncle Jackie's
is-
sister's boy.
Which is just not okay, is it? I'm going to look that up and just fact check that, but I think it is.
Yeah. Oh God.
I mean, if anyone sees my Google history.
I mean, look, if you're married to your first cousin, we're not knocking it, but we're just saying it's not for
I
us.
better put UK actually.
Yeah, better put UK. Now, it turns out that the police are there.
You can.
You can marry your first cousin.
If you're, as long as you're the age of 18.
Wow. Well. That's
But the way they've worded it,
very...
there's no legal bar to two cousins having a relationship. That means that if you end up falling for the children of your aunts and uncles, the way they've worded it makes it sound even weirder.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? It really does make it sound even weirder.
Yeah, so you can.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's weird. And then if you went to a wedding of two cousins, you'd be like, bride or groom? Both. I'm related to both of them. That's weird. Yeah.
Is there anything against not marrying like a stepbrother?
I think you can marry stepbrother and sister.
Can you
'cause
really?
You're not
But then-
legally, you're not, sorry, not legally, you're not blood related, are you?
But then that makes your stepdad your father-in-law or your stepmom your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And then...
I'll look it up, but I'm sure.
Oh, that's so... Family relations are weird. But then, mind you, though, of course you can do all these things. 'cause
Yeah,
this
if
is
they're
what-
not related by blood, it's legal.
This is what posh people did all the
Generally
time, isn't
considered
it?
acceptable.
Marry their cousins and keep things in the family and estates and all that, going to the...
Yeah, it's
Going
not
to the
right now, is it?
families,
But that's like, if you look back in history, there's some messed up people
Yeah, oh,
because
yeah,
of inter.
Well, I mean, how do you think King Charles now has got his sausage fingers? I tell you what, those sausage fingers are looking tasty to Dawn. Just fry them up with some bacon and eggs.
God.
Anyway, moving swiftly
Anyway,
on.
where did we get to? So she's gone back to the lake.
She's gone back to the lake. Turns out, she goes to the cave,
Yeah.
and there is still Toby's willy, but it's got an addition of a frog just sitting on top of it.
Aw.
That freaks her out, and she runs. But
That
she's
freaked her out.
Yeah,
Not buying
yeah.
it off in the first place.
no, I know.
It's the frog.
So she's really freaked out, and she goes to Ryan's house.
Oh, okay.
And she knocks on the door, and she's like, I've killed him, or on his garage. And she explains
Yeah.
to him what had happened, tells Ryan everything about the teeth, blah, blah, blah. I can't quite remember how she's in a hysteric state, quite an hysteric state. So
Is this when
Ryan,
he's lighting candles and stuff?
well, yeah, Ryan gives her some drugs that his
Oh,
mum
he gives her some
has.
alcohol and some drugs.
Alcohol and some drugs just to calm her down.
Date rape her.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I mean, he absolutely does. He absolutely does.
She tells him about the teeth, and he's
Yes.
just like not really worried. He's like, oh, you just need the right guy.
He runs
kind
her a
of thing.
bath and everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he makes her all relax. He gives her the
Yeah.
drugs and the alcohol, and then she's kind of semi comatose.
Yeah,
she's not really properly with it, is she? She's
No,
very
she's
drugged
not.
up, and
Yes.
like she's also had a bit of wine. So she's laying on the bed, and he gets his little. You just hear, zzz,
Oh, I know.
and he's got like a little vibrator that attaches to his finger,
Yeah.
and he's using that, and she's like, oh, this is
Yeah,
new.
this is new.
Um,
and
so-
I'm liking it.
She's quite enjoying that, so she's not stopping him, is she?
No, she's not stopping him.
Although he has drugged her up to
But
get
he
her to
has
that
drugged her
point.
up to get her
I
to
don't
that
think
point.
if she hadn't
naked.
been drugged up, she wouldn't have been doing that, I don't think.
Absolutely. No, yeah.
So then they have sex that night. They do,
Yeah,
don't
they have.
and it's
but-
all fine.
And she's
isn't it?
like, oh, but the teeth. And he's like,
But I think she's so relaxed with the drugs and
Yes,
stuff.
yeah.
It doesn't happen, and because she's not resisting it like she was before, she's
Yeah.
kind of enjoying it.
that's it.
He's fine. So
Yep.
they finish, and his Willie's intact, and it all good.
Yep. She's had a wonderful
So
time,
it's
apparently.
okay. Yeah.
And it's okay. And then, like later, they're having sex again.
It's in the morning. Is it in
It's
the morning?
I think it's in the morning after. They're having
Yeah.
sex again. And he gets a phone call in the middle of it
And answers it.
and answers it.
I mean, he's young, he's naive, he doesn't know.
But he's like telling her he's her look, it's all going to be fine. I'm the hero and all that. I
Yeah.
think in the previous sex scene, and he's like yeah, it's fine. But also, okay, let me put this to you. You've got all right. You're a man.
Yeah.
Okay, so lower
Maybe
your
find out at
IQ.
some point.
Lower your IQ. Okay, and you're having sex with someone who's got teeth in their vagina.
Yeah, you don't want to piss them off
You
when
don't wanna
you're
piss them
inside them.
No, absolutely not. So, first of all, taking the telephone call was bad enough.
Yeah.
But then, that telephone call conversation to be, yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, his friends were
You
like,
better pay up."
Did you bed her? It was a bet kind of
Yeah. And then tell her, we had a bit of a bet that I could
thing. Yeah.
get it on with the person who was promoting the promise ring, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And sure enough,
That pisses her off.
that pisses her off.
And off,
And I
off
think
with his penis.
I think this is the first controlled bite.
Yes, she gets angry and
Yes.
she's like, clench.
And do you know what my theory is?
What?
Dawn is the hero. It's not a man. Never going to be any man that's the hero to tame
Oh,
the
okay.
teeth.
Yeah, it's down to her to control it.
Dawn is her own hero
Yeah.
to understand about her own agency and dealing.
So we couldn't work out whether these teeth like retract and they can come out a bit like Wolverine's claws.
Yeah,
Whether whether she can just like they're sort of hiding somewhere and then they can just kind of be released, or whether they're always kind of there, but a bit like the teeth in your mouth, they're always there, but you can choose to bite down, or you can
Yes.
choose to relax your jaw.
yeah,
So
yeah.
is it just a case of they're there, but you don't really feel them unless she clenches and then?
I
all of a
think
sudden
it's
you're-
got to be like
Yeah.
cat's claws. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd feel the teeth.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be comfortable anyway for a
No,
guy.
no,
so
no.
I guess they retract and then she can
I think so.
release them when she wants to.
Release the hounds, Smithers.
Um,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so he's lost his, and then we do see like his crotch with just all blood coming out of it. And,
Yeah, yeah.
And then do we see his willy?
I don't.
Remember if we
I
do.
can't remember if we do. However, we are now cut to home,
Yeah.
and Dawn goes home and finds her mum on the floor.
Oh, her mum has collapsed, but the
Yeah.
brother is having sex with his girlfriend and loud music and
Yeah.
doesn't hear anything, so he doesn't call an ambulance, does he?
Yeah, and
So the
and-
mum's been there for a bit longer than she should have been.
Yeah,
She, an ambulance could have been called before, and she might have been all right, but she gets rushed off to hospital
yeah,
when Dawn gets back.
and that then prompts. So a couple of things happen. Dawn's in the hospital with her mum, and she's got Brad's girlfriend turns up at the hospital,
Yeah,
And-
she's like, oh, sorry, we didn't know, we didn't.
No. She says she doesn't say we didn't know. She says like I didn't know. I didn't know what to do or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
So she says something like that. But she says Brad told her to ignore
Oh, okay.
her because for whatever reason,
Yeah.
ignore the stupid bitch. Blah blah blah. So Brad knew there was something seriously wrong with
And
Dawn's
just
mum and
completely
just
ignored it.
it. So I know. So the dad goes back to the house to kick Brad out, and he's going to throw Brad out, but somehow Brad's got this Rottweiler. Is it a Rottweiler? It's a really big,
Yeah, it's a big dog.
really big,
Yeah.
dog, really big dog that I wouldn't want to fight with.
No.
But the dog pounces on the dad at Brad's say so, and actually he ends up getting like serious cuts on him, doesn't he?
Bite or a scratch on the neck.
Oh, I think actually no. So Dawn's at the hospital with her mum. The dad goes back to kick Brad out. The girlfriend sees all this happen when the dad has this sort of fight with Brad, etc., and the dog attacks him.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend goes to the hospital with the dad, tells Dawn what's happened.
Yeah.
And that's when Dawn gets her idea of revenge on
Yeah.
Brad. And this is where Brad's obsession with Dawn is his downfall,
Yes.
because she goes home.
So we all know what Dawn's plan's going to be, don't we?
Yeah. And it's not a good sit down talk.
No.
It's
I don't think there's any getting
removal
through to a
of the
man like
cock
that. Yes.
for the rhyme there.
Cock removal surgery.
Cock removal surgery. Cock removal
So-
services.
Do they call it a cock in America? I'm always really conscious of
I
words
don't
we use
know.
because they'd be quite different in America, I would have thought.
Penis.
We know we've got some American listeners.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Todger.
Todger.
Tadger.
Member. That's Austin Powers, isn't it? He calls it a member. Although he's English.
He is. I keep thinking of the scene. My God, sir, it looks like a Johnson.
Oh yeah,
Get
they
over
do all different
here.
ones, don't they? They go for a little while doing all
Yeah.
different. I can't remember the ones they use though.
Wieners, get your wieners.
Oh yeah, wiener. They do
Wiener?
call it a wiener.
Wiener. Although I don't think I'd want to be called a wiener.
No.
Wiener just implies. Well, anyway, let's move on.
So she goes home and dolls herself up a little bit.
Yes,
Doesn't
she
she
gets
puts
done
a bit of
up.
makeup on.
Yes, to look perfect for Brad.
Yeah.
And to Brad's.
But this just goes to show how stupid Brad is,
Yeah.
because she's always, for years, the whole time they've been growing up together, made it very clear that she thinks he's disgusting
Yeah.
and he's her stepbrother and she'd never go there.
Yep.
So, to me, a little red flag would be popping up. I'd be going, why all of a sudden are you so interested in...
See, but Emma,
But then I'm not a man.
you're
so
not a man.
I don't think
And you're
with-
not thinking with
my
your wiener. With your Johnson, with your member.
But he does, when she sort of comes on to him, he does have a little flashback to the finger, doesn't he? Having his finger bitten. He
Yes,
does, doesn't he?
he
Because he's
does
like,
have a
hang on minute,
flashback to
I
the
remember
finger."
something happening when I tried to touch you there.
Yeah.
But he's still... Does he say something about it?
Well,
That's a little bit persuading, doesn't he?
yeah, he's like he's kind of a little bit tentative, and he's like, I always knew you wanted this kind of thing. And also kind of thinking he's being, I think, a little sexy, which
He's not, no. but
definitely
maybe
not.
he thinks he is, yeah.
Yeah, we thought he had a little soul patch at one point, didn't we? But it was just
was
a
a piercing,
piercing.
yeah.
No offense if you've got a soul patch, but just shave it. But yeah, he does take a little bit of convincing, but
Yeah.
literally the convincing is just
go
have
on
sex.
then.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
All right then.
He does. He tries to turn Dawn around. And
Oh yeah, because there is a scene earlier in the
Yeah.
movie where his girlfriend, they have sex and it's doggy
Yeah.
style,
Yep.
and then they finish and she's like turns around to face him and says, I have got a perfectly good hole for that or something like that,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh okay, we know where you've been.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to do that to
Yes.
Dawn, but obviously Dawn's thinking, don't do it there because I've got any
Because-
teeth up there.
I don't have any teeth.
Well, maybe we don't know.
Maybe she has.
Maybe she has.
Yeah.
Maybe she just
Rectal
hasn't discovered
dentata.
We just don't know. She could have teeth in every orifice for all we
Everybody
know.
could have Everybody could have rectal dentata for all we know. Anyway, so oh god, I dropped my glasses. So ultimately, yes, Brad stupidly.
Easily gets persuaded because
Yeah,
he's always
easily.
wanted to have sex with her anyway.
So he
So
thinks.
it doesn't take a lot, does it, to persuade him?
No, he doesn't. He starts having sex with Dawn.
She makes some excuse about no, face me or something, doesn't she?
Yeah,
She wants to
yeah.
face him. So yeah, so then
Yep. And it's like it's not a fast bite, is it? I think Dawn makes him
almost like
feel
she,
this.
Yeah, she almost takes quite a lot of pleasure in this one. Now she
Yeah.
can control it. She's like, yeah.
Yes, now she can control it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't take long. He's not having sex with her for long before she's like,
yeah. And
and it's off. But this bit is really funny because
oh god, yeah.
normally we just see the willy just like on the floor, on the rocks, whatever. This one, she stands up from the bed and the shot is right between her legs
Yeah.
and it just on the floor. It's just like thud.
It doesn't need to be.
Just
It doesn't need a
falls
word. It
out
just
of
needs
her.
the sound. Thud.
It just falls out.
Thud is
It's
the
just
right word.
And I was like, because I think I said to you, what happens? I think before we had that scene, and I kind of had remembered that.
Yeah.
As they went between their legs, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. But like in the cave and on the bed with Ryan, I think I said to you at one point, does she bite it off and then it kind of just falls out, or what? Or do they
Spat
like go
out.
to pull it out and it's like how does this work? Because it was just kind of on the rocks next to them, wasn't it?
I would imagine, right, you know how humans, I think, you know how like humans, we can, if we were eating food, we could be upside down and swallow, and it's muscles that move the food
Yeah.
into our stomach. Whereas other animals, a lot of other animals, they have to use gravity to get
Yeah.
food. So I can't imagine there's muscles like that as well as teeth
Oh, so
that
just
would
gravity.
ingest. So I'm imagining, yeah, it's just gravity.
'Cause she
That's
doesn't
my
stand up
scientific.
in the cave. She doesn't stand up. She's laying down, and it's just on the floor of the cave.
Yeah, that's true.
So how does that come out? Because we don't see that. She's laying down still.
well, they're at kind of an angle. That's
But
the
isn't
only
it like
thing I can
next to
imagine.
her? Isn't it? It's not like down by her legs.
Well, it's on the floor of the cave,
Oh, okay.
and it's not on the mat or anything that they're on. So I'm
Oh,
imagining
okay. So it is down.
and it's
by
near the edge of. Near,
Oh, right, okay.
So that's what I think is that that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I like this movie so much. I'm going to give it a little bit of leeway when it comes to
Yeah.
little things like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'll let them off on the penis placement.
Yeah. We'll let them off on
We'll let-
technicalities.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so the penis falls on the floor.
Yep.
He's in shock, but he tells his dog to get her.
The dog is in a cage.
Yeah, that's attached to a wall.
Yeah, but this dog just literally walks out of the cage, so it's
Yeah.
not locked.
No, not locked very well.
So obviously, what does the dog do?
Well, the dog
Straight over to the
does
fresh
what
meat.
all hungry dogs do.
Oh, we didn't say either. He's got a. Is it called a Prince Albert? The
Yeah.
piercing through.
I don't know if it's a Prince Albert, but
Is it
it's
Prince Albert?
he's got. I don't
What's
know
the
if
difference?
I don't know.
He's got it pierced anyway.
Yeah, he's got the tip of his
I
penis
thought that was
pierced.
called a Prince Albert.
Is that a Prince Albert?
I thought it was. I don't want to have
I
to Google
don't
that.
know.
My Google history is going to be:
you
Can you
want
marry
me-
your cousin and Prince
Do you want
Albert?
me to Google it? I'll
Can you
Google
marry
it.
your cousin who's got a Prince Albert?
Prince Albert piercing. Okay, I'm googling it, but I'm on your internet.
Oh.
Prince Albert piercing near me. Thank you, Google.
Thank you.
No, Google. That's not how it works.
Why do men want to get
Oh,
that
am I
pierced?
going to
I'll
have to
never
look at
understand.
images?
I thought that was just a penis piercing, or is there different ones?
Yeah, that was a Prince Albert.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
He had like a big ring
Yeah.
as well, didn't it? It was like it wasn't just a stud; it was a ring. Which I just think, why would anybody have sex with somebody that's got a piercing down there? Because things could go wrong. couldn't they?
Apparently, it increases. Apparently, it increases
pleasure.
sensation.
But
Yeah.
I'd be so worried about something going wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's the last thing I would want is just what if? I mean, what if
It's-
your you've got a piercing there, your partner's got a piercing
No,
there,
if they get tangled up, no,
you get
forget
tangled
it.
up.
No, forget it. And you have to you have to call an ambulance, locked together. They can't get apart. Doesn't that happen to dogs sometimes? They get locked
Oh
and they can't get off, can
yeah,
they?
something like
Because
that.
they've got the
isn't it?
weird.
They've
Or is it cat? No, cats have got the corkscrew willy, haven't they? Dogs have just got the
Have they?
lipstick.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
apparently.
Oh, I've not looked long enough,
Oh,
to be honest.
Yeah, well, look.
I know you can't help it with Milo having a dog.
Well, Milo, yeah, he hasn't got a corkscrew one. It's just disgusting. But yeah, they can get stuck, can't they?
They can.
Which is grim.
Oh, that is.
But yeah, I don't understand getting piercings down there and how painful would that be? It's such a sensitive area.
And that's the thing as well. How long would it take for these things to heal as well?
If they swell up.
But also, piercings, while they're healing, get crusty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And also, if you get your ears pierced, they're out in the air. If you get something down there pierced, it's covered in clothes constantly. It'd be rubbing against your clothes. It'd be really uncomfortable when it's healing, wouldn't it?
Maybe you'd have to walk around with like a cup on.
You'd have to have some sort of protection from your clothes because if you imagine like jeans rubbing against something like that when it's freshly done.
Oh, God.
It doesn't bear thinking about.
You've actually made me feel a little unwell. I feel a little unwell.
I just don't understand anyone wanting that done. I really don't.
No, I don't.
Pierce anything else, but not down there.
Anything else?
Well, no, maybe not anything. There are some weird piercings you can get now.
There are. And I mean, look, if you get piercings, fair play to you.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It's just not something
personal choice, isn't it? But that area really.
Yeah.
It's too sensitive and it's too risky.
I'll leave my teenage ear piercing.
Yeah.
I think the only piercing I'll ever have.
Yeah.
Anyway, the dog chows down on the penis.
Leaves the top bit with
butts
the ring.
the part with the ring back up.
Oh, does he bring that back up?
Yeah, brings that bit back up.
Yeah.
And Dawn leaves him, presumably, to bleed out from there.
Yeah.
And that's it for Brad. We then see Dawn leaving town.
Yeah.
She rides the bike, her push bike, as far as she can. And then she kind of leaves
I
it.
forgot about this bit. Yeah.
And we see Dawn hitchhiking, and a car very quickly picks her up because she's a young, pretty woman. So she gets picked up quite quickly by an old man.
A very old man.
Who gives her a lift through however far he goes. But it's late evening. They pull up at a
petrol
station or gas station in America.
Gas station.
I don't know what they're called anywhere else in the world.
No idea.
Car filling station, maybe. But this old man turned my stomach.
There was no need for this bit.
There was no need for it, but I think to show that actually, wait a second, Dawn is now the hero, and she's going to rid the world penis by penis.
But it's literally the thing is as well. I know it's like kind of required for the movie, but every single guy she's ever come into sexual contact with. Has been a rapist, or has been.
What's that telling you, Emma?
It's like.
What's that telling you?
Well, actually, no. The brother wasn't a rapist, but he was.
He was.
They're all nasty men. There's no nice guy that's like, oh, I just really like you.
Even the nice guy who liked that. Turns out he's actually just.
And drugged her.
Yeah, and drugged her.
So it's not painting men in a good light. This movie.
No.
So, but like you say, I guess the story is. She's ridding the world of men like that.
Yeah.
One dick at a time.
So this vagina dentata has been created to rid the world of very problematic men. And this old boy, I think, is kind of the worst of them all.
He is the worst.
Because he turns to her and does things with his mouth.
I can't remember what he says to her. She says, oh, she wants to get out, doesn't she?
Well, he doesn't say anything. He just keeps locking the door on her.
She tries to get out and he keeps locking the door.
Yeah, and he kind of unlocks it, and as she goes to open it, he locks it, and it's like a really childish game like that with her.
And he's doing the most disgusting thing with his mouth. He's like wiggling his tongue at her and stuff, and it's like...
It's really sickening.
Actually, I was like...
Yeah.
It's bad enough any man doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But it's the fact... Well, it's bad enough any man, but the fact that he was that much older, it does make it worse.
Really
because
disgusting.
She's like, 16, 17? And he's 70-odd?
Easily 70s.
So it is grim.
It really is.
And it's just... I mean... Yeah, I was having this conversation actually with a friend earlier, and I was saying... There's obviously not all men, but there's a hell of a lot of men that are literally old like that, unattractive, but still think they can pull a young girl.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And it's like, where do men get the arrogance to not look in the mirror and go, yeah, she's not going to be interested in me? Like, they still try it on.
It's just that entitlement, isn't it? It's like,
really?
yeah, why wouldn't you?
Really think that?
Yeah,
it's going to work?
Yeah,
but yeah, obviously she gets a little gleam in her eye, because at first she's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, actually, I can teach this guy a lesson.
Yes, it's kind of like that look
But
at
still,
the camera
you've
at the
still
end. It's
got to-
like,
Oh, yeah, but to teach him a lesson, you've got to have sex with him.
yeah, I know.
So it's still really grim.
Yeah.
Because that's all I thought was like, no, even if I knew that I could do that to him,
Yeah.
I still couldn't bring myself to have sex with him in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that last scene is probably the worst thing about the movie.
Yeah. Knowing the sacrifice that Dawn is going to have to make
Yeah.
to bring some balance back to the world.
Yeah. Did we say that Toby? We mentioned that, didn't we? That Toby he bled out, didn't he?
Yeah,
And,
Toby died.
yeah.
Toby bled out.
We don't know about Ryan. We assume Ryan bled out, do we?
No,
or
we
not?
did see a scene where Ryan was having his penis reattached.
Oh, and we saw the doctor.
And the doctor was having his fingers reattached. Yeah.
So how do you explain that? How do you go into surgery? How do you go into A&E with your ER or whatever it is in America, with your penis in your hand and go, sew this back on?
It's probably the same way that, people explain to the doctors why they have that jar up their arse or something up their rear end, yeah.
I heard a story about that with a guy that said he made up this really elaborate story. So he had a ketchup bottle or something
Oh, God,
up his arse. He made up this really elaborate story that he got home with the shopping, lost his keys,
Right.
had to climb up to an open window to get in, fallen directly onto the jar of sauce, right? And that's how it got up his arse. Through his clothes, because obviously you've got clothes on if you're out shopping. So
it depends though. What if the clothes he was wearing were
arseless?
he was wearing chaps.
Yeah.
No, they were too restrictive to them to climb up to the window, so he took them off.
Yeah, there's some elaborate story, right? So he's fallen directly onto this jar.
I'm not seeing the elaborateness here, Emma. This is sounding pretty legit.
This probably happened to you, David. He's fallen onto this bottle, and it was the nurse telling the story, and the nurse was like, "Okay, that's all fine, but why has the bottle got a condom on it?" It's like, you go into hospital with anything up your arse, it doesn't matter what you tell them, they know what you've been doing. Like, they're not stupid, and those poor people, I feel so sorry for those people. I feel so sorry for doctors and nurses having to go, what's someone put up their arse now, and we've got to try and get it out. Sometimes it's surgery, sometimes it requires surgery because it's too big or it's stuck or whatever. That's not coming out naturally.
Do you know what? Just know your limits.
Just don't stick things up your arse.
Know your limits.
I would have to kill myself because I would die of embarrassment
if that happened to
I had
me,
to go to hospital with something up my arse.
If that, I'm going to make a pact right now, right? If that ever happens to me and I have to go to hospital and explain, I'm just going to tell the truth. That's it. Making a pact.
Because they know the truth.
I was pleasuring myself.
It doesn't matter what you say.
With
They
a
know.
ketchup bottle.
Yeah.
Because that can really hit the prostate from there. Especially that 750 milliliter bottle.
Some of the things you hear, like stories about, you think, how is that pleasurable? It's not going to be comfortable, is it?
No,
I mean, there are sex toys made for things like that.
Yeah, there are.
And they're safe to use.
I know, but it's the size of some of them.
Yeah, but you don't have to go large.
You don't have to go large.
It's not like McDonald's.
I know, but it's like when you're at McDonald's.
Don't have to go large.
Go large
for 20p or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. It's only 30p extra. Come on.
Want to go large for 30p? No. Not since the last hospital visit, no. But yeah, they know. Like, don't bother lying. They know. You go to hospital with anything stuffed up your arse, they're not falling for your bullshit. They're going... Yeah, we know what's up.
Have you seen that TikTok? There's like a first responder or something, an American fella, first responder, whatever.
Yeah.
First responders, you don't always get ambulance service, do you? Sometimes it's fire service, isn't it? I think he's fire service. But there's always like these videos of things that look quite phallic and are quite large or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you see this, and then it will just cut to him, and he's like, "Don't even think about it. No, you may think, but I'll be visiting you."
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
But the embarrassment of somebody having to try and get something out of your ass because you just shoved it up there.
Oh, God.
Just no. And I couldn't do that job. I would be like, no, I can't fish things out of people's asses.
Yeah. No, I know. No, it's not a job, is it?
This is how you die, I'm afraid. This is how you go. And I'm going to tell your family.
I'm afraid, actually, that's there forever now.
Yeah. Good luck.
We just hope that pressure build up. Oh.
So bad, isn't it?
Oh, so bad. Should we start talking about our categories?
Yeah, let's stop talking about that.
Let's start talking about it. Let's start talking about the categories. Right. So, our categories for this movie were scene, special effects, supporting cast, and costume.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. So, what do you want to start with? Well, first of all, right, I don't. Oh no, I do. I don't really have anything for costume apart from what we've talked about already, the 1800 swimming costume.
I just thought so Dawn's clothing in general was just
Yeah.
really sad and geeky. So she, at one point, she's got a T-shirt on that's like "True Love Waits" or whatever it says.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just really like,
Yeah.
it's the sort of clothing you'd imagine somebody with purity ring would wear, but it's just really like frumpy and.
She does have those kinds of slogans on her T-shirts, doesn't she? Yeah. And there's even one of the T-shirts she has got like a unicorn on it as well, which is a sign of.
It's the sort of thing that
things,
at my like my secondary school, so that's high school, I guess, in America. If you wore something like that, like in a non-school uniform day or out and about, other people would rip the piss out of you for. Like it wouldn't, you wouldn't live that down.
I remember once, right? There was a fella in my class, Greg, his name was, turned up to non-school uniform day in a suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you wear to school normally?
And well, yeah. and this Greg fella was tiny.
Yeah.
Okay. So how they got a suit that small as well? Absolutely, to this day, boggles my mind.
Yeah.
All right. There are no suits being made for teenagers that size. Simple
Must
as
have
that.
been a kid's suit. You can get
But
kids suits for weddings and stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, right? Everything was going okay, and then we were getting changed for PE.
Yeah.
Right? And this kid, 2 years above us, turned around and went, "Nice suit, wanker."
Suit wanker.
And I said to the guy, "Well, you look smart. What's the problem?"
But it taken him until that point to say it.
Yeah. Like, it was the afternoon. That was the first time anyone had said anything. But it was like, in PE, "Nice suit, wanker." And I said, "You look smart. What's the problem?" And the kid turned to me and was like, and bearing in mind, I was quite tall for my age as well, but, you know, it's like someone that's a couple of years older than me used to think, why the fuck did I say anything? Why? And then the guy tells me, he's like, "Well, I meant it. It's a nice suit." And I'm like, why did you call him a wanker then, you dickhead? What the fuck is wrong with you?
He didn't have a briefcase as well, did he?
You know? I don't know if he had a briefcase. My memory's not that good, but I think if he had a briefcase, I would remember that.
Non-school uniform day, though, like that's your chance to have freedom. Because I don't know whether it's like this in all American schools, but American schools, they wear what they like, don't they? They don't have uniforms.
Yeah, I think
generally.
pretty much there's non-uniform.
Whereas over here, actually primary and my primary school didn't, but I think that's a thing of the past. I think most schools now, they have a uniform in primary and secondary. You definitely have a uniform.
Yeah,
and it's very strict on the uniform. Like you have to wear. Everything has to be right. So like my school was really strict. It was like even down to the socks, you had to wear grey socks. Like it was. Yeah. Like, you know, you couldn't even wear what socks you liked. No, I know. So it is very strict on. So when we have, sometimes they do like fundraising and they have a non-school uniform day.
Aye.
You can wear your own clothes for £1 or whatever.
Aye.
So that's what we're talking about, because I know in America, well, anything I've ever watched, any series or movies I've watched with any schools in it, they've always worn their own clothes. So I assume in America, uniform's not a thing. Yeah,
and I think the only time you get to see uniforms in media in American schools is when it's like a preppy school.
Oh yeah,
or, you know, like a really posh school or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like private schools or something.
Yeah, and then you'll see something uniform going on there. But otherwise, the only kind of uniform you see is when like someone's on the cheer squad or like, something like, you know, that's you know, absolutely, you know, but that is the overriding thing, and they're all 30.
They're always, in movies, they're always like 35.
Do you know, that's why there's no uniform, because they can't get school uniform big enough for the 30-year-olds.
But that's why I think we have it in our heads that they're just in school forever in America, because every time you watch a movie, they're like 25, 30, the kids, the actors that are playing the kids.
And I can't remember who, but we were talking about this some time ago, right? Someone's like so old or whatever in TV. And someone replied to us on Patreon. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. It was quite a while ago. And they said, you're probably thinking of, what's her name? Stockard Channing in Grease. Because she was like in her 40s, I think. Yeah. When she played...
That's crazy.
Rizzo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Rizzo?
That's crazy though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
And I think we talked about this before, and we said the only thing we can think is that under a certain age, if you're a child, class as a child, so under 18, I'm guessing, there's only so many hours you can legally work, isn't there? Whereas if you're an adult, you can shoot whenever.
Yeah. Could you
they
imagine?
need to
Yeah,
film, so-
that's the thing. Could you imagine that with a cast of like
Yeah,
hundreds for a
Exactly. If there's like
yeah.
High School Musical,
Oh,
how do you ever get it filmed? Because it would take months and months because you can only work
yeah.
so many hours a week,
Yeah.
and you've got to have big groups of teenagers all together at the same time. And it's like, right, you've done your 10 hours this week or whatever.
But
we can't shoot anymore.
Have you seen that film? You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah.
No.
It's an Adam Sandler movie that's got his 2 daughters in it.
Oh, okay.
That's obviously bar mitzvah age, so they're obviously around 13,
Yeah.
I think. Oh wait, bar mitzvah is boys, isn't it?
Well, that's boys, yeah.
I can't think what it is for girls. No, it's a similar name, isn't it? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I did RE at school.
Yeah.
that would have told us. But yes, so you're so not invited to my. I'm sure the film's called You're So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah though, but it's about teenage girls. Anyway, I could also be entirely wrong. But they look like of the correct age. So I wonder
Maybe just
why
took a
did
long
they.
time to film,
I suppose
don't know.
also if he wanted to have his daughter in it, then
Yeah.
it's like, well, I can't put her in and her look like, 17 years younger than the male cast that I wanted to be into. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe that's why they did that in that one. Right, so bad costume. I had a swimming costume. So Dawn is knocking out the park in bad costumes.
Yeah.
Right, so what about then moving on to special effects?
Special effects. I didn't have any bad special effects. I quite liked the special effects.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good special effects in there. Mostly penises.
Yeah. You mostly see someone's crotch with blood pouring out of it and then a penis on the floor.
Yeah, but
But it's quite well done.
Yeah, well, that was my issue though. The first time we see, so Toby's just had his penis bitten off.
Yeah.
And that's like, just a little sausage on the floor. But, and it's a very, very brief shot, but it does kind of pan over Toby and his stump. But
Stop.
oh dear. But it was just like someone just put like a little red patch on him. And
okay.
at that point. And it
Yeah.
didn't look that
Didn't look that impressive.
it didn't look that impressive.
But something's just occurred to me
Go on.
that there's been a couple of episodes where you've described scenes in movies as sausage fests. And I said, David, stop saying that because it sounds like a porno. If any of the movies you're going to describe as a sausage fest, you haven't on this
I
one.
haven't on this one. It's a definite sausage
And this
fest.
is the sausage fest
Yeah.
out of all of them. Because we
Absolutely
actually see
is.
sausage.
We actually see sausage. I want to know what they made the penises out of. I want to know what they were made
They
out
did look
of.
quite good.
They did. Well,
Maybe it was an actual. Maybe they chopped their method acting. They actually chopped their penises off, and then sewed them back on. I mean, that's taking
with
the
the
job
promise
really
of a couple of
seriously.
extra inches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do the leg extension thing now, don't they? Have you seen that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they can do that. Yeah, maybe they just put
Maybe they do.
a bit of extra, whatever they put. What do they put in there? Metal? What do they put in? They put in extra. They break your bones
Yes, they do.
and then put something extra in the middle, and then the muscle and stuff heals over
Extend.
it. But it looks crazy because the people are out of proportion.
Yeah, I
'Cause they're
bet.
not
You've got
naturally
like
that tall. So all they do is extend the leg,
yeah.
but the rest of the body is the same.
But
length, so
that's the
it's
thing. You'd
just
have
looks
to
out of
extend to put everything in proportion. You'd have to extend everything, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because
Because their bodies look too short compared to their legs.
yeah.
And then I saw a video of a guy who'd had it done. It takes a good year or so to learn to walk again. Because you've basically broken the legs and they've got to heal completely because you've broken the bone and it's not even sewn, it's not even knitting together, it's knitting around something else.
Yeah.
So it's physical therapy for months and months and months. And then when he was walking, he looked really awkward.
Oh yeah,
Like
I bet.
he was walking on stilts. It didn't look right. So I was like, just be short. Just be short because, like, honestly, I would rather somebody be short than
You say
have leg
that.
extensions
You
and
say
be like
that,
that.
but we live in a world where
We do live in a
people
world
will
where-
swipe left or right, which is the bad way. I don't know.
Left.
Left. Okay. People will swipe left
if someone's short.
if your height isn't 6 foot.
But if you,
I can say that quite happily because I'm 6'2".
If you put two guys in front of me
Yeah.
and I was attracted to both of them equally,
Yeah.
and one of them was short and the other one had this weird leg extension done, and he walked like he was on stilts, I'd be like, I'll take the short guy. Because it looked weird. It was so unnatural.
These guys just can't win, can they? They just can't win.
But not all women are.
No, I know,
like, oh, it's got to be
absolutely
tall.
not. But that's a
But
real
it is a known
perception.
thing that, a lot of women do like a tall guy.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's not everybody.
No,
Like,
of course it isn't. Of course it isn't.
But yeah, but don't have this leg extension thing done. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they're doing it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I think I can't remember where it was that I saw it. Whether it was on Twitter or somewhere like that. It was definitely in like comments. I was cracking up reading it. Someone had posted something. It must have been Twitter, I think, saying why are all men 5'11"?
Yeah, but they're not though. Have you seen the guy that goes around with a tape measure and checks their heights? He's like, "Do you mind me checking height?"
how tall
Some
are
guys
you?
run away and they're like, "No."
Yeah, and I said earlier I was 6'2". That's a lie. I'm 6'1" and a bit.
Yeah.
Right, but I'll just say 6'2" because sometimes it's different. Sometimes if I'm feeling very rested, I'm
You've got your
taller.
heels on.
Yeah, if I've got my heels.
Yeah.
No, this is sans footwear.
Okay.
Sans footwear. Sometimes if I'm feeling, at the beginning of the day,
Depends how big your hair
I'm
gets.
6'2". Emma, can you take this seriously for a second? All right.
At the end of the day, you're 6'2".
At the beginning of the day, I'm
Oh, the
6'2".
beginning.
At
And
the
then
end
you
of the day,
shrink down.
I'm probably about 6'1" and a bit as my spine compresses.
Oh, okay.
You know. But no, I'm about 6'1" and a bit. Right.
Yeah.
That's the standard. That's the gold standard.
Okay.
But yeah.
Mind if I just check that?
I've got no problem with it at all. No problem with it at
I
all.
can't reach.
But the men in the comments going, yeah, but I'm 5'11". So what? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, just if you're short, just own it. Be a
Yeah.
short king.
Be a short king, yeah.
Be a short king. Come on.
Yeah.
Be a short rib.
Don't get that stupid surgery done. That's
Don't
all
get
right.
that surgery
That's all I
done.
beg.
It's not worth it. It's
No.
not worth it. Yeah. You know what? We've gone all this episode about people having their penises removed, and we haven't once mentioned John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about him earlier when we were talking about how do you explain when you go
How
to the
do you
hospital.
explain?
I was thinking, oh yeah, there was that guy. and the
Because
woman
she
chopped it
threw
off.
his penis out of the car window as
He went
well,
and got
didn't
it,
she?
didn't he?
Yeah.
He got it turned back on, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did a porno.
Oh yeah, he did,
He
didn't
did a porno. That's going to be a Patreon episode. No, it's not.
I'm really impressed that they could sew that back on and it would be in working order.
Yeah. How long did it take? How do you do physiotherapy on a reattached penis?
I mean, the mind boggles at how they did that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, because you're not talking. I mean, we were talking, weren't we, about limbs being reattached because of the last movie?
Yeah.
But
I'm sensing a theme through all this.
I guess it's the same thing, really, because you've got to have the use of your muscles and blood flow and all of that to move your arm, to pick things up.
Yeah.
Same with your willy. You've got to be able to have it all working
So you can pick things up.
so that it can be picked up. It can pick itself up. It's the same thing, I guess, isn't it?
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Because you've got to attach all the nerve endings and the
Yeah.
blood vessels and all of that. I mean, that's intricate surgery, though, isn't it? To
It's got- oh, yeah, it has
reattach
to be.
everything.
Imagine being the
Because it has to
surgeon.
have blood flow to it, and it has to have, and the nerve endings have to work for you to be able to feel anything.
Yeah. And
So it's
yeah. Imagine being the surgeon that can hold that hand up and say, yeah, I reattached John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
Imagine being famous for that
Yeah,
as
I
well.
know.
Like people know your name.
But he was a right dick though, wasn't he? He was cheating on her, wasn't he?
I think there was a motive.
Wasn't
Not saying
there?
it's okay to
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
but I think
yeah.
there was
But
a
there was
motive.
an absolute motive to
I
do
don't think.
it.
I don't think he deserved that, but I think
yeah.
there was a reason she did it.
Yeah.
I don't think she was just crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think something provoked her. But yeah, I mean, to do that to somebody, to be that enraged that you actually physically harm somebody like that,
Yeah.
you do have to be a bit crazy, I guess, to actually go that far. But yeah, that's mad. It's mad that they said
What
that.
if Lorena Bobbitt, it was Lorena, wasn't it?
I think so.
What if Lorena Bobbitt has vagina dentata?
Do you know
And
what
it
though?
was just-
Did she go to prison for that? I'm imagining she would go
I
to prison
assume
for that.
so.
But
I
can you
assume
imagine
so.
her ever dating again after that? If everyone knows
Oh.
you did that, no one's going near you, are they?
Oh, I'll tell you what, right? Whoever Lorena Bobbitt, did Lorena Bobbitt go to jail? She was charged with malicious wounding, He was charged with marital sexual assault.
Oh, he assaulted her.
Both were acquitted.
Oh.
Bobbitt successfully pleaded not guilty by reason of temporary insanity, fair, and did not serve prison time, but served a brief mandated stint in a psychiatric hospital. Emma, I was the Lorena Bobbitt Lifetime movie.
Right, okay. Good to know.
Good to know.
Noted.
Noted. Yeah, 45-day psychiatric evaluation as required by Virginia state law.
A 9-hour surgery and it's returned to normal function. They were extremely rare, but I had done a lot of microsurgery, so I put a lot of fingers back on.
Oh, so today, Lorena Bobbitt is now an advocate for domestic violence victims.
Oh, okay.
So that is where I think old John Wayne Bobbitt was being charged with marital sexual assault. Yeah.
There's a worm named after him. Bobbit worm.
Of course there is.
Amazing.
Of course there is.
How the Bobbit worm got his name. It's a reference to Lorena Bobbitt, who was arrested in 1993 for cutting off the penis of her husband. So, okay, I kind of, if she was being abused, I kind of think he deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we don't.
Yes, we do digress. Right, so
that was special effects.
that was
wasn't it?
special effects.
Did you have any? Is that the only one? The only?
That's
bad?
the only
'cause
bad
they were
special
pretty good,
effect.
to be fair,
Yeah,
weren't they?
it was absolutely. What was the budget for the movie? That's what I'm interested in
No
as well.
idea.
Actually, I've got the IMDb page. I've got PPs on the head. What was the budget for the film? The budget. Oh, it's not telling me what the budget was. It's telling me though that the gross worldwide so far is $2,340,000.
2 million.
2 million, yeah.
It's not megabucks for a movie, is it?
No, it's not.
Depends how much it cost to film.
Yeah, I
guess.
know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Budget for Teeth, because it's worth it. It was a great film, and everybody should watch it. Right. Anyway, while I'm looking that up, the budget was $2 million US.
But it's only made 2 million, so it's broken even.
And a little bit more, 340 odd thousand more.
Oh wow, so not a lot then.
Not a massive amount, but hey, every little helps. Anyway, right. So, what about bad supporting cast?
Well, I put the brother down, but I think that was his character rather than the actor.
I did exactly the same.
Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't like him, but I think I didn't like his character. It wasn't that he was a particularly bad actor.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't think anybody was terrible in it. Because we got actor as well, didn't we? We've got supporting cast and
Yeah.
actor.
We did.
And I've kind of put her boyfriend down, Toby. Well, he wasn't really a boyfriend for long, was he? Toby and Ryan. But again, I think it might have been more their characters than them.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't think there was any. Yeah, I don't think anyone stands out as a bad actor or a bad supporting cast for me.
Excuse me. I just had down. They are two friends who were kind of just background.
Oh yeah.
And there was a point
I don't even
when.
know if we knew their names, did we?
No, we didn't even get their names. No, there wasn't. Nothing about them. No other details. Well, they might have said their name at some point, but nowhere near enough for it to mean anything. Excuse me, one second. Yeah, they were just a bit ineffectual in the background, but then
Yeah.
also they were just
Wasn't a lot of points to them
in the background.
characters, was there?
Yeah. I think literally they were just there so that the first scene, Toby and Dawn, just didn't get it straight on.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much
I
it.
guess it was to make that comparison, wasn't it? That they're all over each other
Yeah.
and Dawn's, resisting. And
Yeah, Dawn has been. Oh, yes, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. That's exactly what they were there for, to show that Dawn and Toby were being a little bit more reserved. Good point. Okay, so that was supporting cast. You're right. I don't really have a specifically bad actor either.
No.
No, I don't. Okay, so what about bad scene?
Yeah, I didn't have. There wasn't really many bad scenes at all. I didn't like when Dawn was given the talk at the meeting.
The first one or the second one?
I think it was the second one where she was saying I shouldn't really be saying all of this. When they're all chanting at her like they were possessed.
Yeah.
Did you like that scene?
I've got that down as my good scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Because I thought it was a really sort of telling scene about the cult of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this kind of movement within religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I just thought it was a bit lame the way they were all like. I can't even remember what they were saying.
I mean, it was like
just kind of
they were chanting. It was
like they were in some kind of like drug-fueled state.
yeah, it's like some
almost
sort of trance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have a bad scene then?
I did. It was, and again, I don't know if this was a bad scene or just my reaction to the scene. And I think you know the one I'm going to mean, don't you? But Brad and his girlfriend had just finished having sex.
Yeah.
And doggy style.
Yeah.
And she obviously says she's got a perfectly good other hole for that's designed for it.
Yeah.
So, and he starts feeding, like, going to feed her a dog biscuit.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's really, really disgusting. It's
puts it in her mouth and she doesn't bite it, does she?
It's a horrible scene.
Yeah.
He kind of makes her eat it, and it's.
I'd forgotten about that.
It's really, what?
It just shows how vile his character is, doesn't it?
And that's the thing. I don't know if that makes it a bad scene or if it's just my reaction to the scene. Yeah, because of the uncomfortableness of it. And then when we next see Brad, he's kind of upset, and I thought, I didn't quite catch why he was upset, but I thought, maybe she'd broken up with him because of it.
Yeah.
But she was back later anyway, so maybe it's just quite a tumultuous relationship, and she can definitely do better than him. But yeah, it was a horrible scene.
Well, if we're going down the uncomfortable route, then the old guy at the end.
Oh, okay.
But then again, is that a bad scene or just uncomfortable to watch?
Well, I can understand why it's a bad scene because it was just so. It was like he's not saying anything. He's literally just turned to her and he's making mouth and tongue movements at her.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crappy like that, but it was also uncomfortable because actually, would an old man just do that? Like, hey, I've given you a lift, so now you kind of owe me.
Yeah.
But he's not even saying that. He's just.
But I do think you get men like that, though.
Ooh, just disgusting.
I do think you get men like that.
You probably do, don't
life.
you?
Yeah.
Oh God. Honestly, I think just a round of vagina dentata, just several women around the world.
Yeah.
Just need to just need that. I think the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it? Like I said, we don't have an awful lot of bad.
Can I just
stuff.
do?
Oh, have you got
a
more?
wild card for a line?
Go on. Yeah.
So there is. I don't think we mentioned this, but there is a scene where she's at school and they're doing an anatomy class.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason they've put stickers. They learned about the boys' anatomy.
Yes.
But they've put stickers over the textbooks so they can't see the diagram of the woman's anatomy for some reason. I don't know why. Because later on she tries to soak the sticker off to have a look because she's like, what is normal down there?
Yes.
But they're doing the boys' anatomy and there's just a great little moment where they, just before they cut from that scene to another one, the teacher goes, "That's it then for the penis." I was like, yeah, that literally is it for the penis if you sleep with her.
I was just thinking, why have I got "that's it for the penis" down as a wild card?
Yeah, 'cause it's like...
That was the line,
If you sleep with her, that will be it for your penis. So that just made me laugh. And then the strap line for the movie is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
The strap line is, it's what's inside that counts.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect.
That's very good, isn't it? That is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good film. I absolutely really enjoyed this film. Well worth the watch.
What are you scoring it?
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
You're giving it a 5?
I am giving it a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Absolutely I am.
I think I might give it a 4.
Okay.
I don't think it was my favourite movie
that
we've watched. I think it was good. It was funnier than I remembered.
Yeah, okay.
I'd watched it a long time ago, so I did remember little bits. I mean, the bit where they're between her legs and you just see the brother's willy just fall out. I mean, brilliant. And then the dog going for it, just perfect. Especially because it was him. Do you know what I mean? Yes. It was like of all the people that are going to lose their penis completely and not have it reattached. Yeah. Because he was a real asshole. So yeah, there was great little moments like that in it. I don't know. I think it was lacking something for me, but I can't really put my finger on why I'm not giving it a 5. I just think that probably because there was a few uncomfortable bits, probably because every guy in it was a complete sleaze. I don't know.
To be
maybe
fair,
that's
her
maybe-
stepfather wasn't.
Yeah, her
Her
stepfather,
stepfather
was okay.
wasn't. But yeah, every other guy was
Yeah.
a complete sleaze. And I get your point.
And I guess it's not an action-packed movie, is it? Like you're not. Like
Oh,
you've
true.
got, we've watched other things that are quite fast-paced, or there's
Yeah.
a lot going on. So I don't know whether it was my favourite. I don't know if it's in my top 5, possibly in the top 10, but not top
Oh,
5.
interesting.
Yeah.
I think out of all the movies you watched so far, it's in my top 5, definitely. And people might even think back and go, David, you've only scored one other film 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely, this is a great film. I think the humour was very good in it.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, like the white knighty sort of guy, that whole scene. It was obviously terrible what he was doing anyway, but the humour of him being so cocky in himself, thinking,
Yeah.
I've tamed the teeth, you know, I'm the hero, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So thinking he can get away with just being a complete dick to
Yeah.
her. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
But so there's all little bits like that I thought were really clever. I think all the bits between Dawn and Toby early on, and them fighting their horniness for each other as well.
Yeah.
And that obviously, you know, feeling like a little bit of an allegory as well. It's like, this has happened because you were breaking your promise ring, etc.
Yeah.
All those kinds of feelings of that were going on with her. I just thought it was a really, really interesting film. Very funny in places. Good special effects.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed seeing so many penises in a movie.
Really?
You know,
Sausage fest.
it was a real sausage fest.
There you go.
And I think probably the best sausage fest I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You've seen
yeah.
lots of them, have you?
I mean, technically, Lord of the Rings is a sausage fest because it's just a load of men. There's 2 female characters,
Oh,
3
okay.
female characters, sorry, in the whole of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You don't actually see the sausages though.
No, you don't see the sausages, but that's what I mean by a sausage fest. It's just a load of
of
men.
men.
You know, you turn up at a party, a house party, or whatever, and there's like
But that does make me think of a
2
porno if you
women.
say
But
sausage
yeah, I
fest.
know, but that's just your mind.
I don't
That's
know.
just your
Can
mind.
people tell us in the comments if they think that as well, or if it's
No,
just...
but if you've never turned up to a party and it's just been like a couple of girls and loads of guys, and you're like, oh god, this is a
I think
fucking
any part
sausage
of things
fest.
has been quite mixed. I don't think
Yeah.
I did work with somebody once who got invited to a party, and it was like a business units on a farm. So it was like there was a girl next door that was like on her own, and then there were different businesses around.
This already sounds like a porno. We're on a
No,
farm.
so she-
There's a
so
girl next door
There
on
was a
her
bit
own.
of a sleazy guy that worked in one of the
Yeah.
other businesses,
Okay.
and
Other
he'd
businesses. I don't know why you
he'd,
don't know why you
he'd
said it like that.
invited her to a party.
Oh no.
And she was telling me about it, and she was like, I was trying to be polite because I've just moved into this unit. I'm trying to
Sure.
get to know everyone around, and she was really lovely. And she was like, so he invited me to a party, and I thought, okay, I'll go along, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think she had a boyfriend. I don't think he knew she had a boyfriend. I think she turned up with her boyfriend, and she said, we got there and we knocked on the door and nobody answered, and there was definitely not a party going on. There was no like music, and you know, you go to a party and you can hear people, you can hear music, can't you? When you
Yeah.
So she'd knocked on the door and she was like nobody was answering the door. So she said, so I sort of tried the handle and it was open. So I kind of like was knocking, but I kind of put my head round and was like, hi, like we're here. And she said she walked in and he was at his piano playing the piano. I mean, already cringe. So he was playing he wanted to be playing the piano when people walked in. And she was like, we literally were the only people there. And we felt like we had to stay and be polite for a bit, and then we went because we were like, the party. Bit like,
Do you think-
was it the Christmas movie we watched? Was he inviting people to a
Yeah,
party?
he's invited. But
Oh, yeah.
do you think, he invited all people to his Christmas party.
And
This is
only
on the
one of them turned
Patreon
up,
Christmas
yeah.
episode. But no one turned up
Yeah.
until right at the very end when your
Yeah.
last
But this
turned up.
actually happened in real life to somebody I know.
But did he actually invite other people, or did he actually
I
only
think he
invite
may
her?
be thinking she was single.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a sleaze bag.
And only invited her?
And maybe only invited her. But then what are you going to say? Oh, I did invite other people, but I've got no friends. Then you just look really sad and nobody wants to date you anyway.
But also the fake sympathy card he might be going for.
Yeah, but
I invited people, but they didn't turn up. This always happens.
Yeah, but then you just think, you're a bit of a sado, mate, aren't you?
Yeah, I know that's.
If it always happens, stop having
but
parties.
yeah, but in his mind, he's probably thinking
Yeah.
this
Yeah, he
this
wasn't.
could be enticing and being like, oh, this might sympathy.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
know.
when you have to use sympathy to get
It's not good, is it?
that's not good.
Anyway,
That's not
that's just a little.
Yeah, nice little add on there.
Nice
Oh God. Oh, anyway.
She was mortified, obviously.
Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine what the boyfriend was thinking.
Yeah.
This
He's
is
like,
like.
where have you brought me?
Well,
I think in that situation, I'd just be like, oh, okay, if the party's not going ahead, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
It's so awkward to then sit there and try and make small talk with someone you barely know.
What songs do you know on the piano?
That's really cringe as well. She was like, he kind of like looked around as we came in.
Ding,
Like,
ding,
it's just like,
ding, ding, ding,
just
ding,
you're showing off because you can play the piano as well.
Yeah. What if they got there and he was like just playing chopsticks?
Yeah.
That was it. All night. This is all I can play. Ding,
I
ding,
don't
ding,
think she
ding,
stayed
ding,
long.
ding, 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 ding,
And I wouldn't have stayed at all.
No.
Anyway,
Anyway, so Teeth.
so watch Teeth.
4 out of 5 from Emma, 5 out of 5 from me.
Yeah, definitely give it a watch.
Absolutely 100% give it a watch. And also, come on over to the flip side and hear us talk about all the good bits in our categories
Yes, we've got
of
more to
Teeth
talk
as
about
well.
the good stuff as well.
Yeah, we got. I mean, obviously you've heard about the movie and a lot of the stuff that we watched in the movie as well. But if you want to hear the good stuff, come and follow us over on the Patreon, www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies, $5 a month. We've
Nothing at
welcomed a new Patreon today as well
Oh, okay.
in this episode. So yeah, remember.
Oh yes, we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time recording this time.
Been a long time.
It's been 84 years.
So yeah, if you're interested, come and join us on that because we've got all 4 seasons of The Flip Side, which is obviously the opposite of what we talked about in all the main episodes that have been released to the public, and lots of bonus episodes as well. You can also support us because renting these movies.
Yeah, and just rent alone.
And just rent alone.
It's a lot.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I'm David, and I'll see you later.
Thank you. I'm Emma, and I'll see you later too.
Bye.
Bye.